Hey Fire Team Whiskey, this is former Army Sergeant Cory Sanden. Today's wellness video, I'm going to be covering the topic of intermittent fasting. Fasting has grown a lot of popularity and notoriety in the fitness industry over the last several years, but it's been around for a long period of time. Mainly has been done by religious folks for religious reasons. It also has been around for different serious health conditions prescribed by doctors and physicians, but it's mainly become very mainstream, I would say, in the last few years, especially in the last 5 years, and there's different ways that you can do it. So what I'm going to talk about today is what is fasting, who should not do it, who can do it, and the major benefits of it. So what I'm going to start with basically is the major benefits, because it is very powerful and it can be used in conjunction with a lot of different styles of diets, which is great. So what I'm going to basically talk about first, though, is who probably should not be doing some sort of intermittent fasting. So let's get to that. The main three people or types of people that should not be probably doing a intermittent fasting style of eating are professional athletes, mainly strength competitors, any kind of major professional athlete that's going to be really dependent on their athletic performance, which you can kind of take that in consideration as well. Probably should be doing the fasting method. Pregnant women, number two. Again, not very much evidence or studies are going to probably ever be done with pregnant women on fasting, so you'll probably never see pregnant women recommending some kind of fasting schedule. And then number three is going to be kind of controversial with the second part, but a diabetic, type 1 especially, would not recommend doing an intermittent fasting style of eating. Type 2, there is some controversy with that. There are some studies done that to show that this actually helps type 2 diabetes, but in that case, again, consult your physician or medical profession before engaging this style of eating, just because of your health condition. So those are the main three people that I would not consider doing this style of eating, just because of their health needs or athletic performance needs. So I'm going to get right into the benefits first of intermittent fasting. I'm going to talk about the different styles of intermittent fasting. So the benefits here, as you can see, hopefully you can see these little icons here. The first one is going to be immune strength. It's going to be a little shield here to protect yourself. So when you're doing an intermittent fasting type of eating plan, it can really help boost up your immune system and your immune strength. Another benefit is going to be purging of cancerous cells. So there's a lot of studies have been done with cancerous cells in people that are fasting, and that improves different benefits towards that. So the next one is going to be kind of a little fat cell here. It decreases fat tissue through ketosis. So obviously when you're fasting, you're not eating, which is going to help lower your insulin levels and help your body produce ketones. So it helps your state of ketosis through a keto style life. Next one is going to be kidney picture here. It's going to be lowers your oxidative stress. When you're not eating, obviously, your body's not working hard, it's not digesting food, so your oxidative stress is going to be lower, which can be a good thing. The next benefit is going to be your heart. It's very heart healthy. It promotes longevity, lowers your heart disease. A lot of benefits with a healthy heart and people with even heart conditions. Very beneficial. Next is going to be brain. So it's going to increase the growth of brain neurons. Really helpful for mental performance. Helps reduce brain fog. It helps cognitive thinking. The next one is going to be food here. It's going to help improvement in fasting glucose, regenerative markers, and healthy stem cell levels. So very helpful with glucose control, your regenerative markers, and your healthy stem cell levels. So very helpful with just overall health. And then the last thing, which I think is probably My favorite and the most important aspect, got a little flex here, it's human growth hormone increases and it also decreases inflammation. So there's a lot of studies that are going on right now with the major benefits with fasting is it decreases your insulin levels and increases your growth hormone, which that's a good thing if you're wanting to stay young, your longevity, maintain your lean muscle mass. Very helpful. Also reducing inflammation. A lot of people right now that are on a high carb eating style, or they're just not eating healthy in general, there's a lot of internal inflammation. So this helps control that and lower the internal inflammation of your body. So those are all the benefits. There's many other benefits as well. I just kind of hit upon the main ones of the different topics, but if you Google intermittent fasting benefits, there's tons and tons of other benefits. These are just the main strong points that I would like to point out about the benefits of intermittent fasting. All right, the first method I'm going to show you with intermittent fasting is probably the most popular and the one that I've done before for quite some time, and that's the 16/8 method. So what that is you're basically going to fast for 16 hours, including your sleep, and you're going to have an eating window of 8 hours. So just to show you an example of that, let's say you stopped eating at 8 o'clock at night, okay? You go to bed at 10 o'clock, you sleep till 6 a.m., 8 hours, let's just say. So your sleeping window is from 10 to 6. You fasted for 2 hours until you went to bed, and then you fasted 8 hours of sleep. Then you're going to fast for another 6 hours. That's going to equal 16 total hours. So you would eat your first meal at noon. That would be your breakfast. Because again, the only reason why breakfast is called breakfast is because you're breaking your fast. So it doesn't matter necessarily what you eat for that first meal. There's a lot of different methods on what should be your fast meal. You can eat solid food, you can eat a shake, it's really kind of up to the person, but your first meal on this type of method would be typically at noon. So that would be an example of a 16/8 method, but you can do this any way you want. Let's say you want to start eating a little bit earlier. That's fine. You just adjust your time. So let's say you want your first meal at 10 o'clock, then you just adjust that. You'd be eating at 10 o'clock and then stopping at 6 o'clock. So you're still going to have an 8-hour window of eating healthy. I will make a notion that this type of method does not mean that it's a free-for-all. It doesn't mean eat as much food as you want during the 8-hour window. It doesn't work that way. You still want to eat healthy. This works really well with many different styles, especially keto, paleo. This is a great method to basically schedule your eating, the 16/8 method. So that's the first method here, is the 16/8. Like I said, it's the most popular because okay, I'm going to be eating for 8 hours from noon to 8 or 10 to 6 or 2 to 10. It doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. That's the key thing, is you want to be as consistent as you can. And what you can have during those fasting hours, so for those 6 hours that you're not eating, is you can have anything that does not have calories. So you can have water, tea, coffee. There's a little controversy with diet soda and BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. That's kind of really up to yourself, but definitely don't want to have anything that consists of calories. So like coffee creamer, sugar in your coffee, those types of things you want to keep away from, because you don't want to have any food in your body, because that's the whole point. You're wanting your body to take a rest on eating, slow down the amount of times that your body digests food, give your body a little of a bit of a break, and then it helps your body get into that ketosis state, which is very beneficial to produce ketones, to help lower your glucose levels, to maximize those benefits that I showed you before. So that's the first method. I'll go ahead and show you the next method. All right, the second method, this is really popular, is called the Warrior Diet or the Warrior Plan. What that is basically you're going to be eating and snacking on vegetables and even small amounts of fruit for the whole day, drinking lots of water, tea, coffee, those kinds of things are again fine. And then you're going to eat 1 to 2 large meals later in the day. Again, this is just a suggestion for some people like this, some people don't. It really kind of just depends on the individual, on what style they use. I've never done this method here, just because I like to have that 8-hour window, but people have talked about through research and even online lots of benefits through doing this style of dieting, just because it helps control them, it keeps them satisfied. They do have that kind of sense of a larger meal during the day instead of maybe smaller meals. So if you're a type of person that's normally having large meals, this could be a method for you. Or if you're a typical person that travels or is really busy, has a busy lifestyle, this might be a recommendation style for you, just because you don't want to have to prepare a lot of meals. You can take a little bit of snacks with you as you go. So I would recommend this style of diet for people that have maybe a hectic lifestyle and travel a lot. All right, the next method I'm going to show you is called the 5x2 method. What that is basically this type of method here is for people that don't want to necessarily fast every single day. So maybe they're just starting out, they're just trying it for the first time. They want to see how their body reacts and how they feel. Because it is a little bit of a different feeling at first when you start to fast. Some people, it's a smooth transition. Some people, it's a very tough transition. So I didn't have a hard time with it as much as my wife did. What studies and research has shown that females shouldn't fast as long as males, just due to hormones and basically the genetic makeup is different. So but everyone's different. Everyone's sensitive. Some people are more sensitive to others when they don't eat. So just kind of take your time if you're considering doing this. But the 5x2 method is definitely something for the beginner level. And how you're going to do that is basically, for example, this is your Sunday through Saturday schedule here. So let's say you're going to do 2 days of fasting on Monday and Thursday. So Sunday night at 8 o'clock, you're going to stop eating. That's going to be your last meal of the day. And then Monday, you're going to fast all day until 8 o'clock. So basically, you're going to fast for 24 hours, again, including your sleep. So you're going to fast on Monday, break your fast at 8 o'clock that night. Tuesday is completely normal. You eat normal. Wednesday is normal up until 8 o'clock again. You're going to stop eating at 8 o'clock. Thursday is just like Monday. You're going to fast that whole day until 8 o'clock again, and then you're going to break your fast at 8 o'clock, and then Friday and Saturday are normal days. So again, you could pick your 2 days however you want based on your schedule, but that's just an example of a 5x2 method with intermittent fasting. Typically, when you're fasting, some people will eat around 600 calories for men and 500 calories for females. Another quick tip or just suggestion information I want to give you is this is not a starvation diet. So people are going to kind of label it that, but this is not starvation. It takes a long time to get in that starvation mode, several days without food. So even if you were to eat, let's say 500 calories on the warrior diet, up and through the day until you eat your large meal, that is not starvation. Starvation is several days without food. So that's why this type of method is not necessarily dangerous for the average person. It just becomes a little bit apprehensive if you have those 3 issues that I said before. Something you would want to maybe take precaution if you're starting intermittent fasting. Another thing I want to point out is intermittent fasting is not a diet plan, it's a pattern of eating. So just because you're intermittent fasting, like I said, doesn't mean you're going to lose weight or change your body composition unless you're eating healthy. So just because you're skipping breakfast and you're starting your fast at 10 o'clock or noon or whatever the case may be on the 16x8, you still have to eat healthy, because again, it does come down to those calories in, calories out, to a certain extent. So you'll see a lot of different things that maybe are controversial with that, but again, at the end of the day, if you're skipping 500 calories and you're doing that for a long period of time, those calories will add up and be to your benefit if you're in a negative state versus a surplus. So that's why intermittent fasting is another benefit, is it helps people control their calorie levels, lowers their calorie levels. But again, I can't emphasize enough, you still have to eat healthy, you still have to drink a lot of water, stay active for intermittent fasting to be a benefit in your lifestyle. So hopefully this is something that maybe you can include into your plan. It's great for, again, different types of lifestyles. It doesn't matter if you're busy or if you're, have a crazy work schedule, if you travel a lot. This works for a lot of people. Definitely do the research, like I said before, to see the other benefits that I haven't talked about, because there are a lot of benefits that are kind of coming to the forefront with intermittent fasting. And again, you'll see it with a lot of diets, whether it's paleo, Atkins, ketogenic. It works really well with those types of lifestyles. Another benefit as well is something that I started to do personally is working out in a fasted state and then breaking my fast with my post-workout meal. So that's something that I feel is very popular nowadays and very beneficial, is if you're doing the 16x8 method and you want to work out in the morning, work out on a fasted state. So don't have any food in your system, some water, coffee, that's fine, but try doing your HIIT program like the Fire Team Whiskey Protocol in a fasted state, because there's lots of different benefits that studies have shown with working out in a fasted state versus adding glucose or food into your system prior to working out. So hopefully this is something that's really helpful for a lot of folks, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Stay fit, always strong.